Hey Woody, are you dollar cost averaging into the market right now?
Yeah, yeah, I always do. Like I don't, nothing's
Like
changed.
aggressively more so though, based on what's
That
happening?
yeah, that wouldn't be dollar cost. No, I have it on autopilot. Just
Right. I
fine.
just mean like if it wasn't like on a monthly basis, dividing it into like a weekly basis based on like, you know what I mean?
I think you're saying, Woody, do you think we're at a market low?
Yeah.
Is the translation, and I don't get into calling the lows, right? Like you could say yes, right? I do see the same trends, right? And then I hear other people saying, oh, this is a classic bear trap. It's a little bit of rise before a double low. Don't try to catch a falling knife. And I'm just like, "Docs, if I could tell the future, I'd be so rich."
Hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
There's a Bernie
guy
Sanders
that
has really let me down. I can't believe he just dropped out of the race instead of like
really he did
grinding
it
this
4 years
thing.
ago.
I feel like he stayed in when he had less than 1% chance of winning for a month. I go off 538.
The odds of Biden pissing himself and crying and or dying between now and November are greater than 1%.
What are you gonna do? Piss yourself, cry, maybe come?
So Kyle and I bet $100. Kyle got Biden and Bernie to be the Democratic nominee, and I got everybody else. And the only reason I haven't paid yet, it's payable at the Democratic National Convention, but the only reason I haven't paid early is I'm counting on both of them to die pre-convention.
And that's not. I mean, the what is it? The Prime Minister of the UK or Britain or whatever? Yeah, Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
He has corona, and I was here and he was like looking really rough. But then I saw some post earlier today where it's like, oh, now he's not in the ICU anymore, so maybe he's not. I don't know.
I heard they're using CPAP machines as ventilators now.
I've thought that. Like, I wonder if mine would make do. Maybe. It would have to help a little. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I don't take it off right away. It's imagine being some peon who breathes unfiltered, unhumidified, unheated air.
I'm a bit of an air snob.
It's just like, this is so perfect. It's like
I can just picture you laying there like, oh, loving it.
Yeah, I
don't know how I could sleep with that thing pressing into my. I guess you get used to it, but that seems hard.
It's pretty light pressure.
I picked Bernie and Biden against the entire field and Trump to win. That is definitely that was.
You're going to be right. Yeah,
that was my call several months ago, and it's definitely where I am right now. They're like, Biden's leading by 8 points. It's, okay then.
Yeah, I feel like the polls now, and they all have Biden winning nationally, are irrelevant almost. Like, let's wait and see when these campaign ads really fire up. I want to see stuttering headed into the forest with dying batteries, Joe Biden.
Rapist Joe Biden.
Well, that is Bernie Sanders' problem, I will admit, right? He hadn't raped enough women to be considered for the presidential.
He was on the low end.
But
had I known, I would have done a lot more in the 70s and 80s.
But Biden and Trump, they're proper rapists, I suppose. So they're the ones we're going with. But yeah. So I want to see Biden, right, painted as this bumbling fool who's fading. And then Trump, right? We can take his coronavirus predictions of there's 15, then like magic, it'll be nothing. This is not a problem. Coronavirus predictions with like graveyard of people or caskets.
Oh, that's not going to work. His approval ratings have only gone up. Like he has I think he should have shut shit down earlier, but like nationwide, his approval ratings have gone up for his handling of corona.
But his approval ratings are only considered good compared to his other.
They're higher compared
ratings.
to what Obama's were at the equal point in the presidency. I saw a comparison.
I could fact check that and then show you the graphs. But yeah,
no, you couldn't.
Fuck you. But yeah. If you look at like you can find a random poll or something but the truth is, Trump, by and large, has been one of the most unpopular presidents in my lifetime. Comparable only to Jimmy Carter.
He has the highest approval rating of any president in the 21st century.
This is true.
On average.
There's no way to check that.
Did you see him wrestle Obama 8 years ago? Did you see the wrestling tournament, Taylor? That Trump won? Yeah,
when Trump was like, say uncle.
Ultimate Warrior was there.
It's demeaning. I'm not doing that. Disappointing. He's got a lot more ass strength than you'd think. That golf's doing something for him.
He's thick around the middle, around the bottom. Like he's
got such a big fat ass,
big old
You-
booty
you
on
see-
Trump.
that
he
picture of
generates
him
some
on the
power.
follow through of a golf swing and just his enormous khaki ass in your face.
Yes,
So funny.
I-
He's got a
I
very
wouldn't-
pear body shape.
I wouldn't bet against him. I'm looking forward to it. If elections are always fun, I think it would have been. Obviously, I wanted Bernie to win, but it'll be fun to watch Trump beat Biden, and hopefully, Biden gets embarrassed along the way because he's senile.
Why
Hopefully
do you
they-
hate Biden?
What?
Like, what is it about Biden that makes you dislike him so much?
Oh, I think he's a rapist.
Really? But you don't think? I mean,
I
he's
think
like
that Biden has lost his
1/20th of the
mind.
rape accusations that Trump does.
I don't think that's accurate.
No,
I don't think Trump has any rape accusations, and also Biden. We've seen him creep on these children, right? Like
Mhm.
we've seen his activities. Trump is like
Dude, that's just
seems more,
game.
Trump seems more like a horn dog. Like
That's just good.
He's got fucking fourth grade game.
like if you're like Trump cheated on his wife, I'd be like, I guarantee he did. But like, did he rape anybody? I don't know about that.
No, you can text me on this phone. That dumb bitch doesn't speak English. 8 languages, not one word of this.
You can grab him by the pussy if you're famous. They just let you or something.
Well, he's
like
describing a scenario in which they like it.
that. Like
Yeah,
it?
that was the most silly thing about that. Was like he even said, and they let you do it. It's like it's clearly a guy bloviating about trying to be Mr. Cool in front of
Right.
Billy Bush. You
Right.
fucking loser. Why? Why are you
Yeah,
trying to
and-
impress Billy Bush?
The difference to me is that I've seen Biden be so creepy with children that it would upset me as a parent. It's like
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
if,
I have no doubt
if-
Trump was creepy in those like Miss USA's or whatever. Like,
yeah, I would
no-
be
no
too.
doubt
Let's
I mean,
about
go.
that.
Teen USA, right?
All
Going
right.
that's what it is. Miss
backstage.
Teen USA.
He went back. He went on Howard Stern
Age
and
consent 17. Let's go.
bragged about being able to see the girls in Miss Teen USA.
How old
under
do you have to be in Teen USA? Is that like
I don't
18
know.
and 17-year-olds, or is it like I imagine it's not like some 13-year-old trotting out there, right? I've never watched any.
I
of these
think you're
programs.
right, but I
know
don't.
what it
There's
is.
no way to tell.
All
There's
I
no way to
know
tell.
is
And I
if
also
Joe
don't care enough to look it
Biden,
up.
if Joe Biden had sniffed the hair of the daughter of that man we watched earlier, he would definitely get a talking to.
Right?
Hey, what are you doing coming over here, Jack?
I hope that I would turn to violence against Joe Biden. I don't want him cucking me, sniffing my daughter's hair, or like grabbing my wife's waist in a suggestive way or something. Like,
The funniest photo of him doing that shit is when he's sitting in some pub or like a coffee house with a biker, and there's like a biker and the biker's bitch
Lady?
or whatever they call him in that society, and he's like snuggling up, arm around this leather clad girl, and then there's that guy sitting there in the booth just side eyeing him like, you son of a bitch, what do you think you're doing?
right?
Fucking senile little
It's-
Biden enjoying himself.
It seems like in Biden's entire life, he never met someone quick enough to go to violence. Right? If Biden hit that guy on the back of the head and got the blade treatment, maybe Biden would be a better man today for it.
Oh, that would definitely set off the dementia.
Would
It
have knocked his teeth clean out.
Those
he would
teeth
go
are
full dementia mode.
bolted in there in a way that they're not coming out.
Oh, they're almost falling out all the time.
I legitimately think that Joe Biden is suffering from some sort of cognitive issues, and I would
He
literally
obviously
be
is.
afraid to have him to be the president of the United States. Like everybody was like, "Oh, Trump, you gonna trust Trump with the button?" You didn't nuke anybody yet, all right? He seems pretty even-handed with that sort of thing, to be honest. Like if anything, he's held back the horses of war. Biden really seems to be losing his shit.
Yeah, he doesn't seem very with it, but that just makes for funny clips.
Hilarious clips. I really hope they get on the debate stage together. I hope there's
That
a
would
lot of
be
that.
hysterical. I mean, like Biden's got to be thanking his, or I guess his handlers are. He's playing with Legos in the other room, but like his handlers have to be like, "Oh, thank God, this virus is going to give us an excuse to not put him on the stage." You
Yeah.
know,
Derek, do you
They're
follow this stuff
obviously
much at
doing that.
all?
Yeah, I'm in Canada though, so I don't have as
Oh.
like tight of a like grasp of everything, but like I still know what you guys are talking about for the more or less. And yeah, that guy, I feel like he'd get fucking lit up on stage if they ever had a live debate between each other.
Oh yeah,
Like there's
For
just
sure.
no way he could hold his own.
I want Trump to put the children that Biden has sniffed in the front row of the crowd so bad.
oh my God, you knew Biden would be up there. He's like, And my opponent over here, he does a really nice thing. He brought a bunch of cute kids up front. Some of them feel familiar, but yeah. And he's like, you see this, folks? He has no idea. He smelled that young woman's head.
I wish he said some of them smell familiar.
Yeah. I can smell. Is that palm olive? Is that yeah, you're that tropical bitch. Yeah.
What a terrible human being.
No, you know, all of these fucking politicians are terrible.
Oh, they're all terrible. Yeah, yeah. There are very few of them with any redeeming qualities.
I'm just waiting to see what the next generation from like the millennials ends up being like, if it's going to be the same level of bullshit and just delusion going forward.
I think it's human nature. I think we've always been full of shit. I think if you went back to the old like Roman Senate, they were probably just as bad.
Yeah,
maybe even more pedo.
More pedophilia. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like,
that's their campaign platform.
Under a toga.
He's sniffing the girl's pussy instead while he's voting on a bill. And everybody's just like, oh, look, Cassius got himself a new one.
Yea, verily, I put to the floor that we should reduce the age of consent from 7 to 5. It's like,
days.
Yes.
No longer will the law keep the most supple of Roman citizens away from the Senate.
Just a huge pause between the number and the fucking.
Tell me, how many of thine balls be heavy and full with semen? What better place than a boy's hole?
Jesus.
That was the Greeks.
So they probably. I wonder how much of that shit was true.
I'm gonna go with all of it because it entertains me.
That there were just whole entire successful empires where they're just molesting kids. Well, I guess we're one, so never mind. I redact all of that. You know,
wait, we're an empire that molests children?
I'm saying like the Epstein thing and like all that. Like, and obviously Epstein isn't the only guy. It's not like he got shut down and all the elites are like, oh well shit, like where am I gonna get young pussy now? Like no, there's some other guy with another island out there, or some underground bunker,
Epstein
or perhaps a pizza place in DC where they molest kids. So
that's real.
It's absolutely real, and there's no way to fact check it.
Not a bit. No.
Wish I knew how.
I wish I knew how to fact check Pizzagate. How much of a fool are we all gonna feel if in like 5 years they're like, yeah, the pizza thing was real. Like everybody's gonna feel like a jackass. I don't think that's gonna happen. But
I want to say there was something recently about that where like one of the guys who was like front and center saying the Pizzagate thing was ridiculous just turned out to be a pedophile. It was just like,
oh, I saw that too. The guy on Twitter, and his name even included like cheese pizza in it, like CP, child pornography, cheese pizza, and he was like leading the charge, like people saying.
Hardest thing.
And then just a few months later, it's like so and so indicted on counts of molesting children. So.
It doesn't mean child porn. Cheese pizza, it means child pussy. You fools! Like, come on. Oh wait, are we live? Yeah, there's just so many pedophiles. Like you hear about like a ring of them getting caught every day. It seems like 187 international pedophiles rounded up today in global sting. It's like, it happens so often.
I wonder if it's like the underlying motivation to get into politics is because that's your like.
Or
to get
that's why I became a priest.
The underlying qualification to get into politics. Maybe they're like, well, we could definitely help with your campaign, sir, but I'm going to need you to have your way with this young child.
It's like instead of killing a guy to get into
Go ahead.
You have to do this.
Go ahead.
Isn't that kind of what Epstein's whole thing was to bring powerful people to that island and entrap them and then have shit on them that they couldn't deny if they went against whatever
I have heard that.
Wanted.
Well, if that were the case, they'd have never let that guy live. Shit.
Well, they certainly wouldn't have let him get to court, and they wouldn't have exposed any records from the island, and they wouldn't have ever allowed those hard drives to go. And then they would probably,
Shit.